I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today, I am more than excited. I am so proud to have the opportunity to sit with one of Albany State's best and brightest attorney, now district attorney, Stacey Jackson. I tell you, I just couldn't wait to say that. People that know me know I have no shame. Being a graduate of the Albany State University is one of my greatest claims to fame. And of course, I was a part of Dr. T. Marshall Jones' band and all of that. Just such a very rich legacy at 504 College Drive in Dougherty County, on the banks of the Flint River. And that's why we are what? The unsinkable Albany State University. But your legacy, you have attended Albany State.
Yes, ma'am.
But your parents.
Yes.
They paved the way.
Graduates of Albany State, and now my eldest son is there getting his degree, and he'll be graduating spring 2023.
See, that's what I'm saying. So Arnold Jackson, your dad, and your mom, they're both educators, and they graduated from Albany State in
1968.
See, that was Albany State College. So our degrees say college, but later it changed to university, and we're very proud of that. Very, very lovely campus. But your dad also was the president of my alumni chapter, which is the Chattahoochee Valley National Alumni Association. And in addition to the title of president, this is what I like about your dad, and it reflects in you. I don't know your son that well, but I have watched you. It wasn't just the title of being the president. When it was time to have people cooking on the grill over at the Whitewater Classic, he was there.
Yes,
Your mother showed up in support, and they had, great careers as educators, but it wasn't like, well, this is my title, and so you all should be doing that, and I should just be showing up. But he would always show up with Choo Choo Brown, and they would be there just making it happen. And that's the legacy when you have that HBCU.
Yes, ma'am. It's the camaraderie, it's the working toward the same goal, and working toward getting that education to move forward, to take that first step forward into your career, into your life. That's what it's all about.
And we might not have had the best of everything at Albany State, but what we had, it was sufficient to take us to where we wanted to go in life.
Yes,
Some of the other campuses are very upscale. You need, BMWs, and everybody's driving. No, really, they have legacy season ticket holders. Well, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
But what we had was love and commitment and a solid foundation.
And that showed through, because I was there during the flood.
Yes, the unsinkable.
And that's why we're the unsinkable
Albany State.
Because even though that natural disaster happened, we were able to soldier through it and move forward. And the campus was there, the administration was there to help us work through those problems. And we survived the flood, and we were able to continue with our degrees, and everyone that was there graduated and move on to their successful careers and everything. So yes, we are, and we were the unsinkable
Albany State. And so that's why it's frustrating sometimes when I hear these conversations about folks that have to go to different institutions, because there is this myth that our HBCUs are not adequate to take us to the next level. And so for you, you've gone to the next level. So you left the Albany State University. You went to law school.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in the room with people from where?
From all over the country. University of California. Person that sat to the rear of me, the University of Wisconsin. To my left, University of Tennessee. Down in my constitutional law class, down to the right, a graduate from the University of Kentucky.
Okay.
A graduate from the University of Georgia. So all these other institutions graduated these individuals, but we're all there together in the same law school.
Right.
Albany State provided me the quality of education that I needed to get where I needed to go, to the University of Dayton School of Law, just as those other universities did.
Right.
And the quality of education that I was
And you didn't take any 099s to get there. You were able to pass the test,
yes,
the same criteria,
yes,
and sit in the same classroom.
yes.
I have to reiterate that because the other folks, the water is not always colder in a different well. I'm just going to say that. Right.
Yes.
And so, but you were prepared.
Yes, prepared, very prepared. The teachers and the educators at Albany State just provided me exactly what I needed to get to the next level, and that's why I'm proud to be second generation. I'm proud to have my son be the third.
Right, and so he's going to be graduating. What's his major?
He had a major in history. By the time he finishes next semester, spring 2023, he have a minor in criminal justice, same as I did.
All right.
Except I had that was my major, but he decided to have a minor in that and a major in history. Okay,
see, and so your parents both being educators, I interviewed a person that your father hired them. They have had a great career. He gave them the opportunity. That person is now an author. In addition to being an educator, he's written this wonderful book. But that is what I've always heard about the Jacksons. My relatives, I'm saying your daddy spent time in Talbot County.
Yes.
I have a lot of relatives there. If you just say Arnold Jackson, he walk in the water. No, really. Because Talbot County, as we know, is one of the poorest counties in the nation. And now as the DA, is that part of your...
Talbot County is part of my circuit.
It's part of your circuit.
Yes.
And so a lot of those folks, with being one of the poorest counties in the nation, they didn't have a lot of exposure. But to have the right type of advocates,
yes,
people that believed in you, that still wanted the best for you,
yes,
to say, this might be where you started, but you can go further.
And there's one of those things, just being an involved parent and educator. I remember those days, my dad bring me down to the basketball games. Anybody from this area, the Talbot County, Manchester basketball rivalry.
Oh yeah, that's big. Yes.
Back in the late 70s and early 80s, I remember those days following my dad around, and but he was always dedicated to those kids and making sure not only athletically but also educational as well, making sure those
and wanted
kids,
them to know they could go beyond Talbot County or Meriwether County. That was where they started. That didn't have to be where they finished.
Yes,
exactly. Well, that is what I hear even about your mom, and her being a leader and an administrator in
Harris
County.
Yes, so many years. I believe it was 51 years before she finally convinced her to retire and get some rest. But same thing, she dedicated. Her
well, it was her calling.
Yes,
see, it was a passion.
Yes.
It wasn't a job.
Yes.
And you can tell the difference when it's a job versus a calling. Well, what we're going to do is go to our first break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com. Welcome back to Straightforward. I am continuing this very wonderful, proud conversation with our one and only Stacey Jackson, a graduate of the Albany State University, a wonderful, successful attorney, now our new district attorney, and we have to just brag about this all over the world. No, I was talking to Mayor Dorothy Hubbard, who was a former mayor of Albany, and she remembered you from being a student at Albany State because she was the registrar or something back then. and she had nothing but great things to say about your work and study habits, and you were committed. The only little thing we know that you did was you pledged Omega, but
Yes, ma'am.
at the plots and all of that over there on the old campus is what we call it now, and that's where people hung out and all of that. That's just the only thing that we know that you did, but we knew you did your work.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Always.
And so she was very, 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 very proud of you and your success. And so the experience on the campus, of course, my spouse is a graduate of the military academy. So the first time he went there, it was just, the parade, to see all of the people stepping around the plots and all of that. And if you've never experienced that with the HBCU, it's just something unto itself.
It's just something that it's hard to describe.
It really is.
It's something that you feel.
Yes.
It's
almost like being at church almost.
Yes.
It is a spirit. And the camaraderie and the love, even all the years later. Of course, I've seen you go to homecomings and I follow you on social media, and I'll see you all around the plot. But I remember when the pledgees during homecoming back in the day, they would have the pledgees with the, doing all kind of things.
Doing all the cooking and running around. And all that
I know.
For all the tailgate.
Exactly, but if you've never experienced that, it's just something.
Yeah, it's just a very, that HBCU experience is just something that cannot be duplicated.
It can't.
You just have to feel it. The football game, the band,
yes,
the rivalry, like with Albany State versus Fort Valley. So
right.
even though we have that rivalry, it's like a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, we're only kind of step brothers and sisters during the classic.
Yeah.
After that, we're family.
That's it.
We're family.
We're
right.
family.
Yeah.
We're family. It's just two institutions, just for example, that are educating young men and young women. Those it's like family, like those individuals that are like us, that look like us, and we're trying to do those positive things and start these careers of these young men.
And then we support each other.
And support, exactly.
We do, and it's like generational. I know I have friends that graduated with me from Albany State, and then their children, like you, and now like your son is there, and now their children, and then of course the McGee's, we had the mother, and she was an educator in Albany. Then Daryl, she was an educator, now she's retired. Her daughter Talisa, she went. Now her daughters, she has 2 daughters there.
Wow.
And yes, you can go somewhere else, but besides the education, you get a sense of family.
Yes.
So when you all go back and you pledge Omega when?
My sophomore year, 1993.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go back to homecoming and y'all go around that plot, it's like stepping back into a time machine.
Yes.
It's like your brothers, you all just pick up just where you left
off. If I
off.
haven't seen them in years, and in those lines that came before me, but also is coming back with the camaraderie, but also we go back to shared experiences with one another, even with just my own personal pledge period in my own line. We've got a nurse anesthetist on our line.
Really?
Yes, individual that owns a trucking company, former probation officer. We just have just a knowledge of sharing with one another. So it's not just pledging and just being on the line just for that short period of time. It's a lifelong experience. It's a lifelong sharing with one. And
it's a love.
Yes.
There's a love, and you can't describe it to people. And they'll think that we're over exaggerating it.
No, it's just like I said, it's just so hard to describe. One of my classmates, Kier Bradford, may be running for attorney, who's a fellow lawyer, who may be running for attorney general in the state of Philadelphia.
Really?
Next year. She's a Delta, one of my classmates. So just being able to support her and support other classmates that are doing all different things around the country. It's
Yes.
just so nice to
Yeah,
have.
and see, our people are not just stuck in Georgia.
No.
Our reach, when we say our National Alumni Association, it is national.
Yes, it's national.
We even have people international. And that I found that out. You know, because people go on work assignments,
Yes.
you know, and
Yes.
they're working in other countries and doing other things. You know, they might be defense contractors and things like that. And then you see them on social media that's like, they're trying to make it to Dorter County for homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
No, really. And people think we're exaggerating. And I'm like, well, if they do that at the other schools, our people can do that
yes.
too.
All the opportunities are there. My frat brother Bryce is in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
My line brother is in Germany
Mm-hmm.
doing defense contract work.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're
not
Albany
limited.
State is,
Right.
is nationwide and worldwide.
Exactly. But they trained us up that way.
Yes.
And so when you were at Albany State, now where did you live? Tell me about your dorm. Because see, now it's all, you know, we had one phone on the hall.
Oh, one phone.
Right. And it was a pay phone. And then it just, on Friday, you just let it hang because, you know, for those people that was not going to keep up with the curfew, you don't want the parents to know. I'm
No.
just saying that's how it was, you know. And on Sunday night, by 6 o'clock, you hang the phone back up. So if you have called, people hollering down the hall. So when you were there,
we at least had phones in the rooms, but I lived next door to Macintosh. I was without.
Well, that was athletes. Yeah.
So I lived in the dorm next door, even though I played baseball. But I
was it Blaylock?
Blaylock Hall.
Oh,
yes.
see, Blaylock was still there. Okay.
Yeah. But I wasn't on I was on an academic scholarship versus athletic scholarship. So all the athletic scholarship players stayed at Macintosh.
Right.
And then I stayed in Blaylock, just right next door.
Right.
So it was just
so
right.
You were actually, that was a newer dorm then.
Yes.
Because Macintosh was really kind of, you know.
Yeah, it was one of the
It was legacy. Yeah. So anyway, you stayed over there, but you all didn't have that one phone. Right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, inside.
Yeah. No, really, but you know what? That could work both ways. You're a lawyer. So if your parents was looking for you,
I had an excuse.
Right.
I said, well, my friend didn't call and bring me down to the phone.
Exactly, right.
But
Okay.
See, but the thing is, my grandfather, my dad grew up in Albany.
Okay, so you had people.
So they used to pop up every now and then.
Okay.
For surprise visits.
Okay.
So I had to always be on point.
Okay, I got
never
you.
knew when they would pop up on the weekends.
All right. You had supervision in the city. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What we're going to do is go to our break to our sponsors. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. David Benefiel at the historic Highland Hall, florist extraordinaire, making dreams come true for all occasions. Visit David and his team today at 1504 17th Street or call 706-324-4881, where happiness blooms. The Columbus Memory Center, 7196 North Lake Drive, Suite A, Columbus. Dr. Jonathan Liss is a board-certified neurologist and sleep specialist committed to battling Alzheimer's by preserving independence, offering you the opportunity to get your memory number for free, the only vital sign for brain health. Call today at 706-327-4000 or visit columbusmemorycenter.com. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season building a family legacy. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this amazing conversation with the one and only Stacey Jackson, attorney and now district attorney from the Albany State University. I tell you, we put out brilliant people in all professions.
Yes.
And we have to keep telling our story. And you and I had a sidebar conversation about what's going over at Jackson State.
Yes.
And with Dion and getting the word out.
Yes.
We can do any and everything if we have the proper resources. Access really makes a difference. And I commend him on what he's doing. He brought light to a situation where we was not really getting a lot of the exposure.
Because just as in the educational realm, he brought to light the athletic realm as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got scholarship athletics and great athletes in these HBCU institutions, and through his celebrity status, he was able to bring that to life. And plus, he's a great coach on top of it.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Just so as it transcends in what we've talked about before in education, you know, these HBCUs that we have produce the brightest and the best
brilliant
of what
minds.
We have in our communities.
Exactly. That's like Dr. Deborah Daniels. And, you know, I just love to brag about my village. Dr. Daniels and I, she's a medical doctor. She lived on Baldwin Street in E-Dub in East Winton, which is our village. We went to Carver Elementary, Carver High School. She went to Xavier, and then she went to Tulane. And we've had these conversations also. She said when her MD is on the wall, nobody is working. She's an excellent doctor. I mean, everybody. I mean, my dad, if she could please him, and he thought she was the smartest in the entire world, not just in Columbus. But she was able to go and compete at Tulane. There was nothing that she was lacking. And then she was a Navy ship doctor, and, you know, and went all over, you know, being a female on the ship, taking care of everybody. But those are the conversations that we've had. It's like, no, our HBCUs, they prepare us, and we can still go and be great. MD, Carver Elementary, Carver High School.
Just like one of my frat brothers, Dr. Sean Price, a local surgeon here, one of the very best in the country, right out of Albany State.
Yes.
You know, right out of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Chi chapter, and brag on it.
I see you doing that, but it's Albany State, yes.
So, I mean, we've produced these great gems that a lot of people don't know about, but we know about them, you know, throughout.
And we have to tell our own story.
Yeah, we do.
Because, you know, and we might not have the biggest, and, you know, we might not be CNN, but wherever we can, we need to tell our story. Because if we don't tell our story, nobody's going to tell our story.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's the thing about you, your parents, that legacy. Your mom, over 50 years in education in Harris County. Your father, with many of my relatives, and then their children, actually.
Yes.
People know them. It's like generational. You know, he a rock star.
Yeah, he's like, he taught me, he taught my
right, he's a rock star in, you know, in Talbot County. And then you met the young lady that he gave her a job 23 years ago. You know, but those are the things that we need to share, just like with what they're doing over at Jackson State. And I had the opportunity to visit there when I was with the 2020 census. And I had not been there before, but I was there for 7 days. And it was just something. Again, wherever that HBCU is, there's a spirit. You could see them, the way they engage with each other. I remember us in the dormitory. Of course, I told you we had that one phone on the hall. And it worked. It was a double-edged sword, because sometimes if you needed to use it, you couldn't get it. But if you was trying to go somewhere and party and you don't want your parents to know, then the phone could just hang right there. I mean, you know, it is what it is. TJ Swan, Easy Days and Mellow Nights, it costs $2.50 a bottle. But we had unity where people, if they didn't have the book, if I had bought my book and I had the 8 o'clock class, where people came from other places, and, you know, everybody was not from a wealthy family or anything like that, I would loan the person my book. They took it at 12. See, now it's different. You can't do that.
Now, to give you an example of what, honestly, one of the reasons that led me to pledge in the fraternity I pledged Omega, I was in the bookstore getting ready to buy a book for a science class. And one of the makers saw me, and he told me, he said, I tell you what, if you promise me you will make an A in this class, I will give you the book.
Really?
He gave me the book free of charge.
Really?
When I finished, we were in a quarter system then.
Right.
When I finished the quarter, I saw him on campus. I returned the book to him. He said, that's what I wanted you to do. And see, that's what you get at HBCU.
Exactly.
And that was one of the very things that led me into the fraternity that I'm in now, because he cared enough about me seeing just a stranger in the bookstore.
Okay.
You don't need this.
Right.
Let me give you something to help you out, to save.
So he sold into you
Yes,
in your
yes,
education. And
yes.
you was like, if he's going to do this for a stranger,
Yes.
then this must be something I need to be a part of.
Exactly.
Right. So it wasn't about because they had the best parties on campus.
No.
We won't tell that part.
That might have been a small part of it, but it was just that gesture.
Right.
Of
him
wanting to
extending
see
himself.
Someone that looks like me be successful.
And he was willing to share with you.
Yes.
And not withhold it.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then it's like,
and that's the thing that you see at a HBC.
It really
types of
is.
Experiences.
It really is. It is. It's like, if we had a 2-piece from Maryland's Chicken, which is probably still there,
Yes.
there, 2-piece, everybody want a piece. You follow what I'm saying? It's like, okay, then let's just take a little piece, a little piece, and a little piece, because it was a sense of family, and we were all on the journey to success. Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation.
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
only
Yes,
part
thank
one.
you so much.
No, we're going to do part 2 because I have to share with the world your great success from being assistant DA, successful criminal attorney, to now the district attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
I got to tell that story. I have no shame. I have no shame because it's important to me. I have 2 grandsons, 17 and 16, and they're getting ready to go to college. I have to have them see someone look like them. That's what this is about for me. So I got to tell this story. I have no shame in telling it. Okay, so we're going to end part 1 here, and then we'll be doing part 2. All right. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.